Senate.
Possibly via the parliamentarian. Filibuster.
We're gonna build back better.
Gonna build back better. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So this morning, just now, we just passed the Build Back Better Act in the House, providing universal child care, universal pre-K, finally dealing with the issue of climate change, investing in housing, taking care of our seniors, and so much more. Now we need the Senate to do its job, to pass it in its current form so we can get back to work and go even bigger as we move forward. So peace and love. A lot of resources coming to the district. Let's get it. Let's go.
We did it, Delaware. I am just walking out of the Capitol after voting for the historic, transformational Build Back Better Act. I'm so excited because it means so much to our state, to the country, and ultimately to the world. I mean, everything from making sure that families and children are number one, whether it is universal pre-K or support for childcare, to my supply chain bill. We know that that is a big challenge right now, to healthcare and the environment. I mean, a focus on the planet. This is such an incredible day, such a beautiful day. And while I have been over 24 hours, I stayed on the floor throughout, didn't get a chance to sleep. I'm a little sleep deprived, but I'll tell you, my heart is right with you. And I am so ready to see this bill get across the finish line in the Senate and to President Biden's desk. Build back better for America.
Hey, we just passed a major victory for the people of my district and the people of New York State. We got included SALT in the Build Back Better bill, and it's really amazing that it passed the House. Everybody said we couldn't get it done. We got it done. We said no SALT, no deal, and we made the deal with SALT. So it's a great victory for the people of New York and similarly situated states, and now it's on to the Senate. But we're so happy. This is a major, major accomplishment, and thanks to everybody who supported us throughout this entire process. I'm so grateful to everyone. Thank you.
We did it. Build Back Beautiful is past the House and on its way to the Senate, and we can't wait until we can start putting the electric vehicles on the road with the grids and children, taking care of children, right?
Yeah, that's for the children. And you can go home and make tamales now.
I can go home and make tamales. Okay, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
All right, bye.
Hey everybody, Mike Levin here. I am so thrilled to report to you that the House of Representatives just passed the Build Back Better Act. This is a historic and transformative piece of legislation to deal with the climate crisis, to dramatically reduce costs for things like childcare and healthcare. And I'm just so proud we got it across the finish line here in the House. We just sent it to the Senate, and we look forward to final passage once the Senate makes their changes, hopefully very soon. Thanks so much, everybody.
Hi, greetings from Washington. I just came off the floor of the House having voted for the Build Back Better Act. I will forever remember standing on the floor with my colleagues, clapping as we crossed the threshold of 218 votes. This legislation is going to make bold, transformative investments in our communities, in our families, in our kids, for this generation and generations to come. It is a really important piece of legislation. I'm proud of what we're doing for kids and families in this legislation. It means that every kid in our country will have universal preschool, getting to kindergarten with the skills they need to succeed through school and later on into life. It means that families who pay for childcare will pay no more than 7% of their income, cutting the cost of childcare for many of these families in half. It means that with the child tax credit, we're going to lift millions of children out of poverty because no child in this country should ever go to bed hungry. This bill invests in our communities, the largest investment we've ever made in affordable housing. It's the biggest investment we've ever made as a nation in our climate, including legislation I introduced to support our climate supply chain, both for wind energy and sustainable aviation fuel. And importantly, it's an investment in healthcare. We're going to make healthcare more affordable and accessible for millions of Americans. For seniors, they'll pay no more than $2,000 for their prescription drugs. And for people with insulin, many of whom pay more than $1,000 a month today, they'll pay no more than $35 a month. This is an investment for our future. It lifts up our communities, it's going to enhance our economy, it's going to create quality jobs today and tomorrow, and best of all, it is paid for. This is an important bill. I'm proud of everything we've done.
BBB, where are you going?
Oh, we're going to the Senate. Goose, where's the goose?
What's up, man? What's up? Come on, man.
just walked off the House floor after voting for the Build Back Better Act. The last few months have been consumed with storylines about price tags and process. Here's what this bill does. Number one, it lowers healthcare costs, prescription drug prices, expansion of Medicaid for vulnerable senior citizens, providing for hearing coverage for Medicare beneficiaries. This lowers healthcare costs for Americans. Number two, it's Social Security for kids. The New Deal's legacy was providing a floor for basic standards of living that we were willing to accept as a country. This extends that same promise to our nation's children with universal 3- and 4-year-old early education, with subsidized child care, with the child tax allowance that allows families more disposable income to spend on their kids. This is going to increase the welfare of our nation's children. And then finally, number three, this bill meets the scale and urgency of the climate emergency with significant investments in climate resilience and clean energy. Now, the Senate must pass the Build Back Better Act.
Hey everyone, it's Josh. Huge week here in Washington. 2 Grand Slam home runs. First, on Monday, I was at the White House. We signed into law the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Once in a century, physical infrastructure helping our roads, our bridges, our rails, helping build the Gateway Tunnel, taking care of making sure that our water is clean to drink for our children, broadband for our unconnected areas of northern New Jersey, and most importantly, if you drive around and you hit those potholes, and we've got the 3rd worst roads in the country in Jersey, and a third of our bridges are unsafe. People are stuck waiting outside, so frustrated waiting outside going to New York City, on the train, outside Secaucus. These investments are going to help, not just by making your life better, by of course creating jobs as well for Jersey. So 2 million jobs a year nationwide for the next 10 years, and of course making that commute better so you get home at night, see your kids, get to work in the morning. Also, just a few minutes ago, we passed here one of the big things that I've been working on for years now, tax cuts for hardworking Jersey families by reinstating the state and local tax deduction or SALT. We know what that is. We know in 2017 what the moocher states did to us by capping out SALT deduction. Now it'll be reinstated, finally giving tax cuts to Jersey. The tax cuts you deserve to make life more affordable. So that'll be coming. It also includes help for childcare and pre-K and cleaning our drinking water up and fighting climate change and making prescription drugs more affordable. Lots of things that are great for us and fighting for Jersey. And also this week, we passed legislation helping our veterans, both for mental health, our women veterans, women's health care, so much to help get the backs of those who get ours every single day. So I just want to say thank you to you. I'll see you back in the district. If I don't see you before Thanksgiving, have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family. I'll be out and about. I hope to see you, but thank you so much. God bless.
Hey folks, Lois Frankel here. I'm in Washington, D.C. in my office over at the Rayburn Building, and I have really good news. On Monday, I was over at the White House with my colleagues, and we watched President Biden sign the bipartisan infrastructure bill that's going to modernize our roads and our bridges and our transit system all over the country, including, of course, our home state of Florida. And tonight, the U.S. Congress, we took the first big step in passing President Biden's transformational Build Back Better bill. It's Build Back Better, I say, with and for women and their families by recognizing that things like affordable child care are just as important to working parents as a safe new road. And here's the thing, women's pocketbooks were hit the hardest during the COVID pandemic. Millions were forced out of work and they were back home doing what they needed to do, taking care of their loved ones. Our efforts today will allow women to get back to work, create millions of new jobs, lifting wages, and cutting taxes and costs for everyday folks, including our elderly, and making sure that our children have a clean environment to grow up in. And what makes us even better is that it's all going to be paid for by corporations and our wealthiest citizens paying their fair share. Passing this Build Back Better bill will make sure that when those shiny trains leave those state-of-the-art stations, that our women and our families are in that front car.
The Build Back Better Act, which is in essence a tax break for working middle-class families. It will lower healthcare costs, lower child care and senior care costs, and it will create jobs in the clean energy economy. Today we are bringing prosperity to middle-class working families across our nation and on the Central Coast.
What a morning. I just left the House floor where I voted yes in support of the Build Back Better Act on behalf of my constituents in Nevada's 4th District and for all of America. This is a bill that is going to create millions of good-paying union jobs. We're going to cut taxes for middle-class families with children, and we're going to lower costs on everything from health care to child care to housing. And we have historic investments for climate change and climate action, including several provisions that are going to help in my great state of Nevada. So we are building back better, and we're going to do it and not leave any person or any community behind.